And never in my imagination did I think it was this easy to get into racing on track. I think it's called a Kydex material.
Kydex, okay.
Like to try and maximize what I have first before putting on band-aids.
I mean, 56 is pretty quick, so you're doing good. And then the car's doing good, I think, too, for the most part. It's a good-looking car.
Yeah, it's a perfect little daily. Yeah, this is a complete build that he's doing. He custom made everything, from the frame rails. Gotta be K.
Yeah. Any last thing you want to say?
Don't build an EF.
This is Dan Kirby.
In my eyes, it's all old and beat up, but...
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. It is a little beat up, but that's what makes it a really, really interesting car, in my opinion.
It gives it character.
There is a character. And what's cool about this car is that it's sub-2s, right?
Yeah, my current PB is a 156.
156, damn, that's quick. Let's hear about how you got into cars and hobby that we have.
I've always had an interest in cars in general for pretty much as long as I can remember. My brother was probably the one that got me into it with all the Super Street Import Tuner magazines way back in the day. Even our dad, he had a DA Integra automatic and he autocrossed it for a little bit.
Oh, that's
I remember
cool.
Going as a kid, watching him go out there and run the course.
We were talking off camera. You were saying this is your second car or third car?
Second car, yeah.
Second car. What was your first car?
My first car was a 99 Mark III Jetta VR6. Had from 18 to 19 years old, okay. And then traded it for this car. And when I got it, it was super sleeper, stock everything except an LS VTEC swap. As any young dumb kid with a swapped Honda, you're just into street racing, going out there racing anything and everything you can. Spending a lot of time on car forums like Honda Tech, Club Integra, because my brother had an Integra, and I met a few guys who used to go out there to Buttonwillow and stuff. And never in my imagination did I think it was this easy to get into racing on track. They just said you just sign up on the website, you just show up with the helmet.
Because you would think you would have to have license and this and that. You just show up, right? You just show up. If you don't have a helmet, they'll lend it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a kid, you just play these racing games. You don't realize how easy it is to get out there and do it yourself. And 2012 was my first track day, doing a 2:33 lap time in this thing.
In this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. With the LS VTEC, huh?
Well, by then, the thing had been through several engines. So my first track day, it was just a B18 LS that was $100 engine out of a junkyard. It had 4 mismatched tires, $200 Raceland coilovers,
yeah,
Duralast brake pads. It was just not set up at all, but it didn't really matter because obviously I didn't know how to drive the thing doing 2:30 lap times.
We were just having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of when it started snowballing into this is freaking awesome. 12 years later, it's evolved quite a bit.
You don't see too many EFs out there, right?
Yeah.
At the track, I mean.
Yeah, not too many.
Why is that?
Probably because it sucks. I'm just half kidding. But I think most people just gravitate towards EG, EK, DC. Yeah. Probably parts are so much more compatible, swap, chassis. All the parts just work better. This thing has a little bit different front suspension, so it's a little more outdated design.
But this is the one that the legend Senna worked on, apparently, right? I don't know how true it is. I know he drove one at the track, and he was giving feedback and kind of stuff. But apparently this was the one that he gave a lot of feedback on, this and the NSX.
Mm-hmm. I think at the time it was a pretty big step up compared to the
previous
generation, where they had torsion beam suspension or something. And I think the EA was solid rear axle too. So it was a pretty big step up in that time frame, but they really just improved it in EGs and forward. And these things are very limited in space for engines and stuff compared to EGs. So that's another kind of downside. Like even just to do the B series swap, you have to hit the frame rail with a hammer to clear for the alternator pulley.
Yeah. So for you, it would have been much easier to just sell it at one point and then jump into an EG EK. What made you want to keep this car?
Sentimental.
Okay.
Like, I've had the thing for 15 years, so at this point it's kind of like my identity.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I'm the guy with the gold EF.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what exactly makes this car cool, I think. Let's show the car and go over all the details. Wow, you got the fancy billet piece.
yeah, those are Hush Performance billet hinges.
Nice.
Pretty sweet, because then I don't have to worry about a hood prop anymore. Basically just a stock K20A Type R, the EP3 that I got from HMO. Pretty standard, like K-swap stuff, Hasport mounts, Skunk 2 Pro manifold.
What kind of transmission?
It's just a stock Type R transmission.
Okay.
It's the like specific NPR3 one that has a shorter 4th, 5th, and 6th. I think it's a 4.7 final drive, but it has the shorter top end gears, which makes it fun because you row through them faster.
Yeah, yeah. So this engine and transmission is like, has always been one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a full swap from HMO.
Was the engine built or is it all
it's
stock?
completely stock.
Okay.
The only time it's been opened was when I just did the timing chain and guides and tensioner and stuff. I custom made this 3.5-inch intake hybrid racing fuel system with the lines. I had to customize the PLM header I got for it, which is for an EG. And like I was saying earlier, where things don't fit.
Yeah.
Because on the EF, the header would hit that rear subframe. So I had to shorten the header to get it to clear it, and still had to cut and trim part of the subframe out.
Is that a common thing for EF owners?
Yeah, I think there's a specific header that fits these with minimal issues, but I just found this header like on Marketplace for super cheap, so I was planning on building my own.
This is a whole lot easier than...
Yeah, I was just lazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to make the manifold. What about the strut bar? Is that something you made?
Yeah, I custom made that strut bar, this little master cylinder brace out of just some random scrap stuff.
Nice.
I like fabricating, making stuff as much as I can.
Yeah.
I quote unquote made this little carbon fiber cover just out of a sheet of carbon, trimmed it.
Do you have clearance issue or no?
Yeah, it hits the valve cover here on the hood.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it.
And I had to get the hybrid low profile oil cap and the dipstick.
Gotcha.
Otherwise it would hit the hood.
Gotcha.
And it's on like the low, or no, it's on the high. I did all that to leave it on a high engine mount setting because I have two settings.
Oh yeah.
So you put it on the low for the 24.
Okay, gotcha.
But I think the high setting is better for axle angles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try and keep it on
the high setting.
A high setting.
Okay. I saw that, I forgot which company, but they make a magnesium.
Yeah, Skunk 2 does.
Is it Skunk 2?
Yeah.
It's actually low profile.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that would help?
Probably, but
too expensive.
Yeah, I don't want to spend like $500 on that for no reason.
I was looking at it too because my EK rubs right here too. I have power steering. It rubs over here too, so.
Yeah.
But I think EF has a lot more clearance issue than EGK, right?
Yeah, both in height and depth.
And just to give you guys an idea, that's, yeah.
Yeah, this EP3 idler pulley sticks up a bit. I had to make this, I call it like a power bulge.
Oh yeah.
Where it just comes up over the top to give it a
that's cool.
Pulley.
Oh yeah. Is this 3D printed?
I think it's called a Kydex material.
Kydex. Okay.
My brother uses it to like custom make holsters for pistols and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I was able to like just put some foam on top of the pulley to give it like the clearance, and then you just like heat the Kydex material and press it over with like a ghetto handmade press, and it like forms it all.
That's pretty cool. I like that. How much power does your engine make?
I've never had it on a dyno. I imagine somewhere between 200 to 220 to the wheel.
Okay.
Just whatever a stock Type R makes, I suppose.
What about the weight of the car?
I've also never had it on a scale, but I kind of estimate it's somewhere around 23 to 2400 just by itself. Because I think that's kind of like around what they weigh stock, given the amount of extra weight I've added to it, like versus anything I've taken out of it. I think it kind of washes around equal. So I kind of just guesstimate it's around whatever it is stock.
Gotcha. What about the axle?
Axles, when I first did the swap, I was just using cheap replacement axles off of like Rock Auto.
Yeah.
And it was just breaking them every freaking track day. One time, I guess it was 2 years ago, almost exactly, doing Speed Ventures counterclockwise. I went through 3 in one day.
Wow.
I think I broke driver's side first session, passenger side second session, then back driver's side third session. And I was like, I'm freaking done. Like,
is it because of length issue, or is it just?
I think it was a combination of things, because they were just cheap parts store ones, so the quality control was terrible.
Yeah.
Like I blew some up that I've never seen blow up in places before. And I think these just standard, because I'm using ones for a base model RSX, I think the length is not perfectly ideal in just standard base model form. So after all that shenanigans, I found some original OEM base RSX ones on eBay. So I bought those, did like the inner cup swaps, which like corrects the length. I've had those for the past 2 years now and 0 issues. Ever since then, I've just been like scouring eBay looking for OEM axles to like stock up. So I have another spare set, and I was trying to go to the 36 mil, like Type S ones. It seems like Carceps, who you made the hubs for these, just like stopped making them.
Okay.
The original game plan was to go to 36 mil. Who knows if that'll happen.
If anyone knows where he can source one of those hubs, hit him up on his IG. Maybe someone is sitting on one. Who knows? Do you have an LSD in the transmission?
Yeah.
Stock one, right?
Yeah, just the stock Type R LSD.
I guess we can talk about your wheel spec.
Yeah, it's got the 15x8 plus 35 T37s in the best color bronze.
And it actually goes really nice with your car color.
Yeah, kind of a goldish and on bronze.
Yeah. Those are those the OGs?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like an investment
to
have these wheels. Especially the OGs in bronze.
Yeah.
Like I was seeing people sell used ones for like barely less than brand new. So I figured if I ever had to get rid of them someday, but I probably won't.
I see that you're running 225s.
Yep.
Is that square?
225, 45 square.
Okay. Those are what, Nankang?
Yeah. I just was trying these out. I did my 56 lap on the Falcon's 660s.
Okay.
And then I got these, and I have a set of the Kumo V730s on a spare set of wheels. But I haven't been able to improve my PB yet.
So you were faster on the Falcons than the CRS?
Just going through the motions, getting more practice back in.
Yeah.
Try and hopefully, once it cools back down this wintertime, give it another shot. I know there's more in the car. My original plan after case swapping was kind of getting into 56s and then putting aero and stuff on it, and then trying to go 55s. But after I went 56 so early, I'm like, I know there's more in it, so the goal is kind of like try and get into 55s.
Yeah.
before I mess with any kinds of aero again. Because I have like a whole kit for it stashed away over there.
Like proper aero or?
Yeah,
like...
with like a full splitter, a swan neck wing.
Oh, wow. Okay. You're ready.
Yeah, I was developing all that back in 2019 with my old B18 GSR.
Well, that's a lot of patience just having those parts sit there.
Yeah, because I mean, I know I'm not extracting the full potential of the car yet, so there's no like point. I kind of like to try and maximize what I have first before putting on band-aids. That's kind of what the aero is to me, for at least on this car. It's just a band-aid. And like it settles the car down a lot. It makes it a lot easier to drive.
Yeah.
But oh, there's just something super fun about having a really tail-happy, loose, light, like fun little car to throw around.
For sure, for sure. I see that the front fender has similar material. Is this the same thing as what you have on the hood?
That is just a little rubber strip off of eBay. Because
oh yeah, I feel it.
Many years ago, I stupidly decided to try and roll the fenders with like a set of pliers. So it's all kinds of like messed up under there. And I found those on eBay, and it was just like nice to like cover it up.
Nice. And this piece,
that is a pretty cool little piece.
It is.
I got off of EFB Motorsports on Instagram. It's 3D printed.
That's right.
You can do custom ones that say like Civic, the dual overhead cam, or the VTEC.
Or sub to club, right? Sticker, is that original?
Those stickers came on the SIRs in Japan. With the B16A. They were probably like a replica, but it's a cool little detail you don't really notice.
I love the 80s, 90s font designs.
Yeah.
Going over the front once again, what kind of suspension did you have?
So this car has super old, like Generation 3 Fortunato 500.
Okay.
I think they're on like Generation 8 or 9 now. Yeah, so I've got those with Swift 12K fronts and 14K rears. It took me a few years to kind of like figure out that spring rate. I think it came with 12 front and 8 rears. Then I did like 12-12, and then like eventually landed on 12-14, just kind of adding in a little bit more rear stiffness to get rid of as much understeer as possible.
Yeah.
Just learn how to drive.
Well, I would think the shocks are blown by now.
They are getting pretty old. I was supposed to take them out and like send them to get rebuilt or upgraded when I was going to do the K-swap, because I knew that's a hell of a lot more motor and it's going to go a lot faster and like get abused a lot harder.
Yeah.
And I never got around to doing that.
Well, engine is in there, but not the suspension.
Yeah.
Not yet.
So that's probably one of the next things I'll try to do, is either rebuild them or just upgrade to something else. But these have been pretty nice still working pretty good for as long as I've had them.
Yeah. I mean, 56 is pretty quick, so you're doing good. And then the car's doing good, I think, too, for the most part. What about like arms, bearings, stuff like that?
Yeah, it has pretty much everything you can get from PCI.
Nice.
It has the upper arms and the upper arm bushings. It has the PCI rear trailing arm bushing, the rear camber kits, the lower control arm, and the toe link in the rear also. I might get sphericals for the front control arms, the front lowers. I'm not sure why, but I still have just rubber ones in those. They're hard race though, so they're better than stock, but I might do those spherical next.
What about the brakes?
So brakes are, well, first off, the whole knuckle is out of a DA Integra, which upgrades you from like the EF 8-inch brakes. So now it's running the pretty standard like Mini Cooper 11-inch rotor, the like Type R caliper. Just switched to DTC 70 pads. I was running 60s before. I might go back to 60s because I think it locks up a little bit too easy now. That, or maybe even just try something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of wanted to just stick with like a OEM style brake. Just,
right.
I don't think I really need it.
Right.
Like, tons of people just like go and buy huge big brake kits for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I kind of just wanted to see what it was capable out of me in the car with just a stock style brakes. I think it's an 88 Prelude master cylinder. Because the original one is like a 13/16, and I think this one is a 7/8.
Okay.
It was a pretty cool upgrade I found years ago. I even did like a write-up on Honda Tech forum, like showing part of that upgrade.
Just changing the brake master and booster in some cases make dramatic changes. So yeah, I like how you went about doing that.
Yeah, it was a cool little free upgrade that fits on like the stock EF booster.
Right.
Because I didn't really want to mess with like trying to convert boosters or something. I don't really know anything about boosters.
Almost freebie, huh?
Yeah, cool little free upgrade.
Yeah.
In the rear, it has the whole trailing arm out of a 2000 Civic Si. So that converted it to rear disc. And then I was running Hawk HP Plus in the rear, and same story as the front. It was getting a lot of locking in the rear once it unloads the rear. So I just downgraded those to HPS, just like sport pads, because the rears don't really do a whole lot. I actually just replaced the rotors, but it was like for no reason. I had a set of like drilled ones in there for, I don't know, like 12 years, doing all these track days. Probably longer than that. Probably had them in there for 14 years, because I've been tracking for 12.
Yeah.
So they did 12 years of track events and everything, and they still looked brand new.
Sometimes I wonder if changing the brake pad and like caliper is even worth it on these cars.
Yeah.
So I did the same. I changed changed to disc brakes and whatnot. I don't even know if they ever get used.
Yeah, supposedly drums work just fine, but just for sake of like changing pads and like maintenance on working on it,
right,
the disc is way easier to work on. So
and it looks nicer too.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. nobody likes drum brakes. Yeah, so
clean for its age, right?
What's that?
Clean for its age.
Oh,
sorry, I didn't see that.
The carpet's brand new.
Nice.
So that's like pretty nice still, other than button willow dirt. It used to be just stripped out and gutted, but as ironic as it sounds, I don't really like feeling like I'm driving in a tin can. So that's why I always leave door panels on and everything.
Yeah, and cutting it doesn't really shave that much time.
Zero weight reduction to this car. It still has the heater and everything under the dash. That's partially because of laziness. I don't even want to think about taking a dash out of this thing. Yeah, that's why the only reason like the headliner and panels and stuff are gone is for the roll bar. As long as it's kind of like semi-interior-ish in the front half, I'm cool.
So was this 6-point at one point?
Yeah, it started its life as like a build-it-yourself drag cage.
Right.
They just like send you all the parts, and then I basically assembled it myself, and then added in like the front sections, but I didn't really like how it was done. So I eventually just cut that out and just left the back half.
Yeah.
Because the front half wasn't really like up to proper standards.
Just looking at your sticker, that's very cool. What kind of gauge is this? So Android?
It is, yeah, just a tablet.
Very cool.
So It's just a tablet and it runs Bluetooth to the Honda.
Nice, nice.
That was one thing I was kind of researching a lot into when I was doing the K-swap, was trying to figure out what the heck I would do for cluster. And supposedly you could just stick like a single cams, because these cars use cable speedometers instead of electrical.
Oh, yeah.
And supposedly you could stick the old D-series cable speed sensor into the K-series transmissions and just use the stock cluster. I didn't really see anything like concrete about that, other than like some people just saying you could. So I wanted to try and like do something a little bit more modern. Yeah, I saw Honda had the app, so I just bought some tablet, and it works freaking sweet.
Yeah.
I would have thought like with Bluetooth that it would like lag a little, but it's really responsive. And it shows me all the data and everything from all the sensors.
Like your shifter too.
Yeah, the Acuity two-way shifter. That's one of my favorite parts about the car. The shifter is freaking sweet. And then this 3D printed is also from the EFB Motorsports.
Nice.
Just to run a few oil pressure, water temp gauges.
Cool.
Yeah, so the back half is still stripped. I got a anti-gravity battery in that box.
Oh, it's a nice setup.
Bunch of chassis bracing.
Yeah.
It's got a full custom 3-inch stainless system that I made. That's a vibrant resonator. It has 2 of those, and then it's just got a V-band on the end, so I can add on my Laguna Seca exhaust.
Speaking of exhaust, quality muffler service. What city is this, Dan?
Visalia?
Pretty close to Buttonwillow, right?
Yeah, about a little over an hour away.
Okay. So if you're in the area, need something exhaust-wise or any welding-wise, looks like they have a lot of stuff here, but yeah, hit Dan up. Dan is a good man.
Thanks.
This is your daily, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my little daily beater Honda Fit.
It's a good-looking car.
Yeah, it's a perfect little daily.
You said you tracked it?
I put T1R lowering springs, dual camber bolts in the front to just max front camber. I did a 215, I think. I'm pretty sure I could get closer to a 210, which was kind of like my goal, but I didn't even align the thing before I took it, and it just shredded the front tires. Yeah, so this is my 2004 AP2. It used to be my brother's car. I was pretty much the mechanic for it and did all the work to it, and then eventually bought it off of him. Set up with Olin's coilovers.
Nice.
Some camber adjustment parts and stuff. This thing I've only been down to a 202. I think I could get closer to a sub 2, but I just need more experience in it. I've only taken it twice. I want to take it to the track more though, because learning the rear drive after driving front for 10 plus years is really fun.
Yeah, yeah. So your brother sold you this, but he is building something cooler.
Yeah, this is a complete ground up build that he's doing. He custom made everything, the frame, from the frame rails, pretty much everything you see. It's like a 32 Ford body.
Yeah.
For like a kind of cool rat rod style. And then he wanted to be super weird and go with a rotary engine. So this is like a 12A rotary.
What is 12A out of?
Out of the like early 80s RX-7.
Okay. I mean, I don't know anything about this engine, but it looks damn cool. And suspension looks like FD actually.
Oh, yeah.
What is
so subframes, front and rear, are out of an RX-8.
RX-8, okay.
Yeah, so he just built the custom frame rails to mount both RX-8 subframes. And then with a little bit of science and a little bit of guessing, engineered like the push rod for the cantilever suspension.
Right.
And he's just got like my old Fortunato springs from my Civic in here.
I hope Sean will really take it out to the track one of these days and just have fun in it. It looks like a really fun project.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun.
I hate to sound like a broken record. I always ask this question to Honda owners, but you came from a B series. So B or a K?
Gotta be K.
Yeah.
I was a B series guy for 13 years or something, and I loved it, but it's just, you can't beat the future. It's just the newer architecture, newer everything.
Yeah, and the transmission, this and that.
That was one reason why I went K, was because I kept breaking the transmission. I had a B series Type R transmission popping out of 3rd, 4th, 5th gears, had it rebuilt, did it again within like a year. And I was like, do I want to spend thousands of dollars again rebuilding it? Or just say, screw it and let's try the new stuff.
Yeah, there you go. We have a rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive Honda. If you can only keep one.
I mean, it has to be this thing because it's just, it's me.
Right.
I've had this thing for almost half my life.
Well, I guess that was kind of a stupid question. Sorry to pause you, but yeah, this has a sentimental value in it. Let's say you sold both cars. You're starting over.
You probably would just choose the S2000 in that case.
Yeah.
I think it's just a way better chassis. These things were made as cheap economy commuter cars. Like, as much as we can throw money into it and try to make them race cars, it's still a 34, 35-year-old economy car.
Yeah.
Whereas an S2000 was purpose engineered. So it's kind of hard to argue against that.
That's a perfect answer. And this car, I can see that is very, very special. So I hope you never have to sell this. If you ever have to sell this, let us know. I'm sure a lot of us would be interested in owning this car. Yeah, it's a really cool car, really cool owner. Any shout outs?
Yeah, I guess the first shout out would be my brother. He's always been really supportive for as long as I can remember. He's kind of like my only sponsor, so to speak.
Any last thing you want to say?
Don't build an EF.
Thank you so much for your time, Dan. See you next time.
Yeah, see ya.